So, during the time it takes me to say this sentence, which is approximately 10 seconds long, the Earth has lost 95 tons of Arctic sea ice. Everyone knows about the catastrophic effects of climate change, so why does it seem like no one is really taking action to help solve this global issue? This is due to our attitudes towards climate change. With 8 billion people in the world, many believe that small daily efforts to reduce their pollution won't really make a difference. For example, using a reusable water bottle instead of a plastic one is a simple way to reduce waste, but will a single plastic water bottle have a big impact on the world? Well, no, a single plastic water bottle will not have a big impact on the world, but the habits you develop are what lead to real change over time. The mindset of my actions don't make a difference in the world needs to stop because it's not true. On average, a single Canadian produces 1,530 pounds of trash per year. Also, keep in mind that our main source of trash, single-use plastics, basically weigh nothing. So yes, a single person's actions do make a difference. We need to throw away that old mindset and replace it with the new mindset that the actions I take today may be small, but they will add up and make a difference in the future. So you may have heard of the Willow Project, a huge drilling operation in Alaska that will produce massive amounts of oil for energy in the United States. For the Willow Project to happen, 532 acres of wetlands must be destroyed, 619 acres of polar bear habitats will be lost, and 9.2 million metric tons of carbon pollution will be released into the atmosphere each year. The CO2 that will be released into the atmosphere due to the Willow Project is the equivalent to the emissions of millions of cars annually. This will cause major global warming, resulting in rising sea levels and extreme heat waves. It will harm millions of people's health and will force many coastal communities to relocate, and once the project starts, the effects will be irreversible. Sadly, the US government approved the Willow Project on March 13, 2023, despite millions of environmental groups, scientists, and individuals pleading against it. Not surprisingly, the team who approved the Willow Project will not be affected by the consequences of this drilling operation because future generations are mainly the ones who will be forced to deal with its effects. This is the problem. Polluting is free, and this is why so many people do it. If everyone had to deal with the effects of their own pollution, well, obviously they would pollute way less. This brings us to our second reason why it seems as if no one is doing anything to help solve the problem of climate change. Because climate change is often perceived as a distant problem, one that will not have an impact on your life. So when you think of climate change, you probably see it as an issue that will impact future generations or people in other countries. Unfortunately, the effects of climate change are entirely unpredictable. In 2024, over 16,000 people lost their lives and 1.1 million got injured due to the effects of natural disasters such as wildfires in California, Alberta, hurricanes in the US, and heat waves in Asia. And no one can predict where the next natural disaster will strike. We need to act now before climate change has gone too far. Start by doing your part. There are so many ways you can lower your carbon footprint. For example, learning how to recycle and compost properly. Did you know that pizza boxes belong in the compost bin, not the recycling bin? How about plastic bags? Did you know they can be recycled? And that egg cartons actually belong in the compost bin? If you didn't know any of this, I suggest that you take a look at the Halton Waste Management website and look at the waste sorting kit. Other ways in which you can lower your carbon footprint include using active or public transportation instead of a car, bringing reusable utensils and straws when eating out instead of using single-use cutlery, supporting your local farmers market instead of shopping at the grocery store, reducing food waste, refusing plastic bags when offered, and eating less meat and more vegetables. Finally, spreading awareness about the effects of climate change and inspiring others to also take action is a small but significant thing you can do as well. These little efforts are not only good for the environment, but they're also good for your health and your wallet. Plus, you'll feel good every time you take a small step towards achieving a greener lifestyle. Remember, small actions make a big difference when they add up, and it all starts with a simple habit. The world needs your help. Do it for families around the world, for all the species that are going extinct, or do it for our beautiful planet and all it has done for us. Thank you.